That is some downright chilly air. High temperatures today in parts of Alberta and Saskatchewan were near 10 below Fahrenheit. That's the air that will advect in on the backside of the system. Notice the spin right there. Wait for it. There is your clipper. Now, last night I talked an awful lot about the overall track of the clipper. Now, you go back to like second year of meteorology, and we talk about synoptic meteorology. So the track of the low is so important when trying to define how the weather looks as the clipper comes through. Well, at this point, there are some colors on the map. I'm going to draw an arbitrary line right here along I-94. You'll see all north of 94, it is snow. Banded heavy snow bursts at times. Along and south of I-94, you have rain in blue and yellow, and pink, which is a wintry mix, and the possibility of some isolated pockets of freezing rain. Here's where things get really interesting. There is going to be a phase change, 2 or 3 phase changes in that arbitrary line. There's I-94 again. So look, we go snow, and then it goes widespread pink, and then it comes back to widespread white and gray. That's snow going to a wintry mix and then back to snow. The one thing that does is it starts to steal any amount of sustained snow to create much larger snow totals as we move forward in time. And with that said, as the snow moves in, it is thick, it is heavy, it is sloppy. Add to that the chemicals on the road, and it's exactly what I talked about. It's like trying to drive through a slurry mix. Your wheels aren't going to get any traction, and the commute is a big problem because of it. When we talk about radar, and this is important whenever you talk about a winter storm, anywhere you see it kind of dull and gray, those are very small snowflakes. Where we see these bands of much brighter, notice here out into the metro, west of the metro, Wright County, parts of Hennepin County into Carver, Scott, even McLeod County. Where we see the brighter white, those are much bigger snowflakes. Bigger snowflakes, if left undisturbed, are going to give you eventually much bigger snowfall totals, although over time they tend to get heavy on themselves and do what we call a compaction rate for the snow total. But it is going to be a phase change. Notice here, just down toward Le Sueur, kind of parallel here to the Minnesota River Valley. Either side of the river valley, you've got a rain and a rain-snow mix depicted there in pink. This is the important part when I talk about the track of the clipper, the track of the overall low. It looks, and it's really uncanny here, but it looks like it's going to roll right along I-94. So there is essentially the clipper track. Synoptic meteorology. Everywhere to the north and eventually east as the low runs along the track is where we'll always find the heaviest snow in those bands of real big snow bursts. So that's why everywhere in purple is in a winter storm warning. That includes parts of the north and east metro. Areas to the south here, everywhere in blue, that's a winter weather advisory, the lowest of our weather categories. Behind it, you can't really tell, everywhere here in brown, and that extends into the Fox 9 metro. That is a high wind warning as the winds pick up in a big way as the clipper makes its way down the track. So to the north of the clipper track, heaviest snow. To the south is where we'll eventually find these very strong winds diving down behind the clipper out of the north and the northwest. So live look outside, man, it is snowing to beat the band. And I said that on the air a couple of weeks ago, and then I said, I've heard it 1,000 times. I've used it 1,000 times. Not really sure what it means. I think it means it's snowing a lot. Let me take you forward in time here with our Fox weather model. So colors to talk about on the map. The dull gray and the white is all snow. Once we find the pink, that's a rain-snow wintry mix, some pockets of freezing rain possibly moving in, and the yellow and blue is all rain. And look, I know it's December, we're talking about a December storm, but there are parts of Minnesota that will go just rain along the Minnesota River Valley for the next couple of hours, even as it makes the turn here toward the metro. So the metro should see a phase here over the next couple of hours. It's just past 3 o'clock Central. A little phase change back and forth, metro, and in particular here, parts of the west-southwest metro, and that extends all the way down the Minnesota River Valley to I-35 and off to the southwest. That phase change going back and forth, wintry mix, possibility of rain, snow, wet snow, wintry mix, possibility of rain, rinse, and repeat. That is going to steal some big time snow totals from the West Metro. And you notice there's a pocket here. Watch as I move you forward in time. There's the rotation of the system. This is more very light snow, even scattered snow flurries that linger into tomorrow morning. So they won't be overly impressive after about 9 p.m. this evening, but it will continue to add snow to the roadway. That's where we get a big problem with a massive regional snow gradient. Okay, so let's go forward in time. And remember, using 94 here as our overall track, everywhere you start to see here in the deeper purples, even this little sketch of blue that is just north of Mille Lacs and just off to the northeast of the Brainerd Lakes area, that's upwards of a foot of snow in these bursting big bands that will continue to come hot and then drop, hot and then drop. Now, I want to bring you down to the metro. Look, if the phase change happens more often over the next few hours, these totals will absolutely step back here off to the north. As it sits right now, a massive snowfall gradient. So near an inch here once you head down to Sibley County, up into Carver and Scott counties, an inch or two. Keeping in mind that because it's not overly cold, this is sloppy snow. It's not like that light, airy snow where you end up with feet and feet and feet. This is slop. Now, once we get into the metro, there's a difference here between Eden Prairie and Forest Lake. Eden Prairie, 2 to 3 inches possible. Forest Lake, the possibility of 6 to 9. All of that is in about a 20-mile span. And as you head just north of the metro, Sherburne County could start seeing the double-digit snowfall totals. That's an incredible snowfall gradient in a very short period from now into about 9 p.m. tonight, and a very small area. Now, on the other side of all of this, you're like, is this really going to stick around for Christmas? Are we finally going to have a white Christmas? I don't know why I just turned into a surfer dude. Yes, but we're actually talking more snow on the backside of the system as we head into Thursday night, maybe a couple of inches. Friday, maybe a couple of inches. And then we're right back into the deep, deep, deep freeze as we look all the way to Friday. My forecast high on Saturday, and sit down, brace yourself, hold on to something. My forecast high on Friday will be about 6 degrees, temperature's dropping. Forecast high on Saturday, 1 degree. Keeping in mind our average high for this point in December is about 30 degrees. So this well below average trend continues, although on the long range charts, it's looking better and better and milder as we head toward Christmas. I'm going to leave you with all of that, a lot to digest. The one thing we've heard from the state police is that travel is absolutely not recommended outstate Minnesota, anywhere outside of the greater Twin Cities metro. I'll be honest with you, about an hour ago, I was driving, and I don't even want to drive in the metro. The roads are a sloppy, slurry mess, and only getting worse from this point forward. I guess, with a lot of closures of schools early this afternoon, we are going to limit the road traffic, but if you don't have to go out, you've heard this over the years, people say, if you don't have to go out, don't go out. You're going to hear from me now. If you don't have to go out, yeah, please don't go out. We'll have another update for you here in 20 minutes at 3:30, then again at 4 and 4:30. We get into the Fox 9 News at 5. We roll all the way to 8 p.m. Then we start our updates again at 8 and 8:30. Then the news starts at 9 all the way to 10:30. There is no way you are going to be able to miss staying updated as long as you stay with the Fox 9 weather team. We've got you covered, and we're here all night. I'm going to send you back to wherever you were. Of course, if it's a live stream, you go back to my friend Ian Oliver live on Fox Weather out of New York, New York. The city's so nice, they named it twice. We'll see you soon.
This is the afternoon shift. It is Tuesday, December 9th, and you just heard there from Ian Leonard, the roads out in the Twin Cities and beyond in this great state of Minnesota, they are really bad. the temperatures are plummeting and the inch totals are going nuts. The south side of the metro area, you just saw from Ian, between 1 and 3 inches, and then you get up to north of 94, and you're looking at potential double-digit inch totals. It's crazy out there, folks. We hope that you're safe and sound in your homes, and you're watching here on the afternoon shift. I'm Adam Llorens, and we are going to have Ian Leonard, and we have Ian Leonard right outside. You know what, Ian Leonard, get in here. Get in here and tell the people what's going on.
You sound like you're losing your voice.
You know what? It's because I'm just channeling my inner Ian Leonard and try not to talk too much. You're going to be talking all night about these snow totals, aren't you?
You know what, though? The great thing about this is what, and this is going to sound really corny, but this is what we train for.
Yeah.
You know, for us, these are big epoch moments. These kind of storms that bring in a massive amount of snow in a very short period of time. Not everybody gets the massive amount of snow.
Yeah.
But the roads, just before I came in here, the roads are awful.
Yeah.
They are, I mentioned this on the air. You've got chemicals down, and chemicals do a really good job at around 25 to 30 degrees and then some.
When you say chemical, what do you mean by chemicals down? Oh, okay, gotcha.
Put down road salt.
Yeah.
But then the snow is falling so fast,
Yeah.
it doesn't all melt. It turns into this deep slurry mixture. So it's not ice, right? The roads aren't icy. The roads are very greasy.
Yeah.
Think about a slurry. If you've ever mixed cement in a wheelbarrow.
That's right.
That's me. I'm a bit of a do-gooder that way. It's impossible to get traction.
Yeah.
And because of that, we're seeing brand new accidents regionally across the metro almost every minute.
Yeah.
You see the traffic map; it's just pinging and pinging and pinging. If you don't have to travel, I wouldn't even go home tonight.
I mapped it out. I live in Minneapolis. It's typically a 20-minute ride home. It says 48 minutes right now, so
yeah.
it's bad out there.
And we haven't even hit max traffic yet.
Right.
Once you start hitting max traffic, and it hasn't happened. So, and I heard you mentioning this. This is all going to be an incredibly diverse snowfall gradient.
Yeah.
And I know I sound like I'm geeking out.
Yeah.
Because I kind of am. When we get these big snowfall gradients, from say Carver County, Southwest Metro, right, almost close to where we are in Edenbury, Minnesota, and then go all the way up to Sherburne County, north of the Metro, up to Mille Lacs, and over to Anoka County. You'll see a snowfall total difference here as we head through tonight, probably in the neighborhood of about 8 to 10 inch differences. From the lesser amounts in the Southwest Metro to the much greater amounts in the North Metro. Yeah. They're going to get punished, especially areas north of the Metro toward Brainerd Lakes, Mille Lacs. Some of those areas might see a foot of snow.
Yeah, and all within, I think you said on the air, a 20-mile difference between the two.
It's going to be incredible.
The Clipper line, it's if you're kind of south of it, you're kind of cleared a little more, but north of it, you're in the.
I was trying to give like a meteorology lesson. When you think about going to college and you take a class called synoptic meteorology, which is it's all these big things. Yeah. It's basically how fronts and high pressure and low pressure systems interact. Yeah. But whenever we forecast a clipper, and I'm going to geek out with you. I'm going to just talk to the camera. When I forecast a clipper, there's a lot of different forecast methods. I like to use what's called the condensed Garcia or the Garcia method, which was actually created and conceived by a forecaster years ago in the Duluth National Weather Service office. And it really talks about finding the track of the low and locking that in, saying that's going to be the track. And then looking at the mixing ratio, how much ballpark here, how much moisture is available at a certain temperature that can be converted over from its current form to snow. So you find that, and then you find the upward vertical velocities of the air. You've got to have rising air for things to happen. You put all those three together, and that's where you end up with the overall forecast. If you go right down 94, and it's incredible when you look at the charts. I know I'm geeking out, but this low is going to go right down 94. I mean, it might miss it north and south by 5 or 10 miles, all the way into the metro. Synoptic says that areas to the north and east of that area of low pressure are where you'll find the heaviest snow. And that's exactly the way this is playing out. So if I sound like I'm geeking out, I am geeking out because, I'll just say this here. I'm a geek.
You are.
In a great way. I'm a part of a herd of geeks, and we all love it. And we love doing it, and we love being a part of it.
Yes, absolutely. We have a question for you. I know you got to give your next report at the bottom of the hour here. We do have on Brenna Knapp. She's with AAA.
Yeah.
Would you like to sit in for this segment and talk to Brenna with me?
Sure. She's phenomenal, and she's going to tell you everything I have been telling you.
Yeah.
The roads are not in great shape, and I think the number one message that we hear but we don't always listen to, if you don't have to go out tonight, don't. And if you can stay off the roads, then stay off the roads, because it gives those incredibly brave men and women of all of the plow operators across the state, even down to the smallest local community, it gives them a chance to get a handle on the roads. They're not dodging cars. They're not trying to find their way around traffic. It's called a speed plow for a reason.
That's right.
Because it can speed unless you're in the way.
That's right. That's right. Let's bring in Brenna into this conversation. Brenna from AAA.
I'm just going to keep eating, by the way. I'm eating my lunch.
Perfect. Brenna, how are you? Thank you so much for bearing with us and your patience there. How's it going?
Yeah, hello Ian, hello Adam. It was great to hear your spiel about the forecasting, and I'm here to geek out about safety tips, if that's okay with y'all.
I love it. I love the safety part. I'm talking with my mouth full right now.
What are some of the biggest safety tips that you got, Brenna, for people that are out on the roads right now here in the Twin Cities and beyond?
Absolutely. Ian hit the nail on the head. If your trip is unnecessary, don't risk it, right? Stay off the roads. If you can be flexible and wait until conditions improve, till plows have gotten out there, that's going to be your best bet at staying safe, is staying at home. If you haven't yet, preparing your car, so keeping your gas with, at least a half full tank, replacing your wiper blades, make sure your brakes have been checked. Make sure all the lights are working properly, and then making sure your tires are inflated, because tire pressure drops when the temps do. So that's before you hit the road. And then we always recommend that you keep a car emergency kit. So having, a non-perishable snack, a couple of water bottles, extra pair of hat and gloves, a flashlight, even a blanket, all in your back seat.
Preach, Brenna, preach. Preach. I love it.
Yep.
It's all me. I could take you out to my car right now, and I've got all that in there. But as you're saying that, I know, and there are people out there, no, they don't have that. They're like, that's fine. I have a heated garage at home. I'm going to wear my nice loafers and go out. And then something happens in your car, and you're wearing leather-soled loafers. It's like wearing skates. It's so easy to prepare. Take an old pair of boots. Throw them in the back of the car in like a little tiny satchel. They don't roll around in your trunk. They're there, a blanket, and people are like, I don't need that. I've got this really expensive 4x4. I mean, how many times have you heard that, Brenna? It's like, I've got four-wheel drive. I'll be fine. No.
You actually keep this in your car.
I can show you right now in the back of my car. I'll lift the tailgate, and everything is in there. I've also got a AAA emergency road kit. Yeah. I've got everything I could possibly need. And my wife's always like, you're always so prepared. Would you just stop being safety dad? I'm like, safety dad's a good dad.
That's right.
Oh, absolutely. We're really proud over here, Ian.
Thank you.
Brenna, what do you do? Ian was saying there's already been accidents are being reported every minute now. What's the protocol if your car starts spinning out and maybe you do hit somebody or you hit something on the side of the road? What's the first thing that you should do?
Yeah, absolutely. In the event that you do find yourself on the side of the road, stay in your vehicle, right? For visibility, to keep warm, keep your car running, and kind of, conserve energy of conserving fuel, but making sure that you're staying warm, giving an emergency responder a call, and then just staying put and staying calm is going to be the most important thing that you can do if you do find yourself on the side of the road.
The in the car part is so huge. And Brittany, you know this, you look at the cameras and you see accidents, and the first thing you see, obviously there's an accident because the road conditions aren't good. Visibility is not good. And you see people step out of their car and kind of start walking around. You're like, no. Get back in the car. Make the phone calls. Get emergency services to you as soon as you can. But getting out of your car is it's a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Brenna, what should you do? Like, let's say tonight you got your car parked outside. There's several inches coming. Like Ian said, if you're north of the metro, could be double-digit inch snow totals coming there. You get into your car tomorrow morning. It may not be working properly. What's the protocol there?
Yeah, well, we've got our AAA roadside workers who will be on will be on deck this afternoon into the morning. So if you are able to make a call to have someone help, if you do find yourself, your car isn't able to start, make that call and then make alternate plans too. And again, as we know, things have gotten more flexible over the years. So if you can work from home to avoid some of the traffic or some of the snow that we'll likely experience into the morning, do that as well. I know all of us Minnesotans will be a little bit flexible over the coming days.
I like stay at home. I wish I had a green screen at home. I'd never come to work. I'd work, but it just wouldn't be here. It'd be at home. But yeah, no, it's if you have the ability to not go, or like let's say you're downtown. And Brenna, you're downtown and you haven't started your commute. You want to get home. Look, you've missed your opportunity to beat the weather. You've missed your opportunity to beat the traffic. And I know nobody wants to hear this, but maybe stay and work a little later. Get some of that extra work done and get away from what's happening on the roads right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're really bad out there, Brenna. Listen, I know you talked about tips before about, just kind of driving through these temperatures and ice and snow and whatnot. One thing that I've always noticed, and I did not grow up really driving in winter weather, when you're making that turn, especially in the snow and the ice, you can kind of feel like you're almost surfing in a way in your car. What's that sensation, and how can you avoid sort of that feeling? Because I feel like that's where a lot of accidents and a lot of pileups kind of lead to.
Yep, absolutely. So first of all, we start by saying drive slowly. Anything that you're going to do this afternoon, take it at a slower pace. Know you're going to probably be a little late. It will take some more time. But anything that you do at a lower speed is going to reduce your risk of a crash. If you're taking a turn, specifically like the question you mentioned, accelerating and decelerating really slowly, so not being super touchy on your brakes or your gas pedal, is going to help you avoid kind of spinning and turning like you had mentioned going onto a turn. So anything and everything, just take it at a slower pace.
I used to tell my daughters when I was teaching them to drive, yes, I'm that guy. Remember, I'm safety dad. I would say this isn't about seeing a green light and starting to run. It's about starting very slow walk and looking around and seeing what everything is like. And then if it's going well, you can start to walk faster. You can walk faster than that. And eventually, if everything is fine, then you can start to run. But that's it. Brenna's got it exactly. It's about a very slow movement on the gas and letting the car take itself forward, not forcing it.
Yeah. And even the most experienced of Minnesota drivers, hearing somebody like you and Brenna say that, that really goes a long way. I'm a very inexperienced winter weather driver, and so just hearing you all saying to take it slow is very soothing and reinforcing. Brenna, where can people learn more about AAA, and if they don't have AAA, where can they sign up to be included in the membership?
Yeah, AAA.com. They're going to ask for your zip code and location, and then you can go from there. And that's a great reminder, Adam. Remember, it is some people's first time driving in the snow, whether you're a new driver or new to the area. So let's all give each other some grace, give each other some extra room on the road, and we'll all get home safely, hopefully.
I just have one question.
Look out. Now you're in trouble.
I just have one question. So I'm pretty short, okay? I am 5 feet tall, and I sometimes, I have to admit, don't clear off my car completely. What are the dangers of not clearing off your car completely when there's snow and ice on it?
Absolutely. I know we've all been there, right? It can just be easy to say, I'll just brush it off when I get to my
Not me.
step.
I brush it all off every time, Brenna. I just wanted to interject and say that. Safety dad always brushes it all off. Sorry, continue.
Hey, no, that's the point I was going to make. Always brush your car off. Even a couple inches of visibility can, remove a blind spot, especially when you're already, there's already bad conditions in terms of visibility with the snow coming down. So brush off that car if you can. Just assume that you're going to need 15 or so extra minutes just to get yourself in the car, get everything cleaned up, and before you hit the road.
I think somebody needs a longer snow brush. And by the way, you can buy the short ones, but you can buy the ones that extend. I saw them I don't want to give anybody an endorsement, but I was at a place that rhymes with Schmostco the other day. And they have these ones that extend, I swear, they extend like 6 feet.
Well, that's what I need. That's what I need as a 5 foot. Because I'm up there. whatever. I have snow all over the front of me because I'm up against the car trying to reach on top of it. So I think you're spot on, Ian. Maybe I'll stop by that, that store. You can send me the details.
Maybe
after.
Santa could bring it for you. And
I'll
by Santa, I mean Adam.
Hey.
We're gonna do a little a white elephant gift exchange.
Nice. There you go.
Maybe this is yours, Grace. That would be that'd be awesome. And Brenna Knapp from AAA, we do really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation today.
Yeah, likewise. Nice chatting with you both.
Thank you.
I hate to cut it short. I didn't even get to eat. I've got my lunch here.
I was gonna say.
I'm back on our streaming platform with you all here in 4 minutes. I'll talk a lot about how the snow is and where it's going, and maybe I'll eat. But I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the afternoon holds.
We're talking to White Christmas from Chanhassen Dinner Theatres.
I'm dreaming.
That's right.
Of a white. It's my favorite. It's my favorite movie of all time, and I have yet to go to it at Chanhassen.
Bing Crosby and the one from the 50s, right? Yeah.
Really? Is that the way you react? Bing Crosby and the one from the 50s?
That's what White Christmas is, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's Danny Kaye. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. We'll follow the old man wherever he wants to go. Forget it. I won't sing anymore. I'll leave you with this. I'm heading back to the Fox 9 studios. Thanks for letting me crash. Please, everybody, just take your time.
Yep.
And as I've said for years, I say tap her cool.
Yep.
That means tap her cool on the brake, tap her cool on the gas. Just be cool and you'll get where you got to go.
Thanks, Ian.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you in a few minutes here.
Yeah.
Yes. We're going to go to break, and we'll be back right after this.
Hi, everybody. Fox 9 Chief Meteorologist Ian Leonard with you here in the Fox 9 Weather Center, the comfy or heated confines of the Fox 9 Weather Center, joining the afternoon shift here at the top and bottom of every hour because this is a live look from our tower camera in Eden Prairie. Okay, that's 394 as it makes the bend through Eden Prairie. This is the direction all the way to Bloomington. And I think just a cursory glance and you get an idea. Yeah, things are moving very slowly. Most roads are snow covered. Just checked out the Fox 9 Traffic Center, the traffic map. And you always hate to be over exclamatory or say, oh, but it is a veritable disastrous commute today. Very slow. With so many accidents, so many spinouts, so many in ditches. Jennifer McDermott's in the weather sent me with today, and she just keeps clicking on the pictures going, oh my, look at that. Oh, look at that. And I look over and I go, oh, because we're both kind of like, oh, you got to slow down. And if you don't have to travel today, please just stay where you are and give the plows times to at least get a handle on the snow as it continues heavy at times. 27 degrees right now, a dew point at 25. We're 92% relative humidity. The air is saturated with moisture, and this clipper system's wringing out the moisture, and we will see some very impressive snowfall totals. That moisture, see the white lines, streamlines, gives you an idea of the surface flow right out of the Gulf. Uninterrupted moisture supply. Cold air supply coming down the back of the clipper right out of northern Canada, where daytime high temperatures were about 10 degrees below Fahrenheit. The center of the clipper, see the spin right there? There it is. Now, the direction of the clipper, the track of this area of low pressure is everything in forecasting. Last night I said it looks like it wants to almost track all the way toward the Twin Cities along I-94. And that is exactly as it's unfolding. There's just the front, that little bulge of the low. So the low is co-located about here. As it continues to work along I-94, the heaviest snow bands will be to the north and east of the low. That's what a class we took second year meteorology, synoptic meteorology. To the south, this is the moisture supply, but it is also slightly warmer air. You'll see this bounce between snow in white and gray and the pink color, a wintry mix. So it's having a tough time either cooling the column of air to support all snow or warming it to support all rain. That's going to eat into snowfall totals in the southwest metro, areas southwest along the Minnesota River Valley, although not right now, and south along I-35. That's the last 6 hours. And those bright white splotches, those are some very big snowflakes working in bands. And last night on the air, I mentioned these bands. That's where we'll see the burst. So the rotation is here. There's the center of the low. So the rotation is here, moving all of that moisture into the much colder air to the north. That's where we'll find the biggest totals, the grandest numbers as we work through the next 4, 5, and 6 hours. But for now, the entire metro is in snow. You head here, there's McLeod County and there's Sibley County. There's the rain-snow mix turning into a wintry mix, more rain than anything. But for now, it is some big-time snow. Mentioned the track of that area of low pressure, the clipper track. There it is, kind of driving, although not perfectly, the direction of I-94. To the north, winter storm warning. That's where we'll find totals at 6 to 10 plus inches. To the south, winter weather advisory. Totals 2 to 4 inches of wet, sloppy, heavy snow. And it divides the metro exactly in half. Back outside to 394. A windy rain snow event tonight with a massive regional snow gradient. Let's talk about that gradient. Remember, we're using I-94 here as our track. Heaviest snow all in purple. See how it kind of bisects its way northwest to southeast across the metro? Once you get into areas like Eden Prairie or down toward the airport or sliding down toward Burnsville, then to say Jordan and Peter along the Minnesota River Valley, that's where you start to end up with much lesser totals. 2 to 4 inches here, the possibility of 6 to 10 inches here, northeast metro and areas north. Gives you an idea that we've got a long way to go. The roads are going to continue to be a mess. Your Tuesday afternoon commute, not good at all. But there is hope. Although not this week. We'll talk about more snow Thursday, more snow Friday, and then the deep freeze as we head into the upcoming weekend. The hope comes with what looks to be a warm-up on the long-range charts before Christmas. I know, I'm just trying to give you a little hope on a brutal winter Tuesday. And with that, I'm going to send you back to Adam on the afternoon shift. It was a pleasure joining you earlier, my friend. I want you to take care of your voice. For everybody else, including Adam, we'll be back here at the top of this 4 o'clock hour to talk, you guessed it, snow. Oh, yeah.
Thanks so much, Ian. We appreciate you, and we'll see you at 4 o'clock. I'm very pleased to be joined here. We're in the winter weather spirit here on this Tuesday. Why not talk about White Christmas at the Chanhassen Dinner Theatres? I'm here with Andrea Mislan, Tony Vierling, two of the stars of the show at Chanhassen Dinner Theatres. Thank you so much for joining me and talking about White Christmas. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. We love it.
Absolutely. You know, Ian mentioned when he was here in the segment before you all got on that it's his favorite movie of all time, the Bing Crosby 1950 special. Yeah. Personally, I wasn't familiar with the movie. I think all of us know the song. The song has been popularized, but I don't think a lot of us know that the song comes from this play and this show and the film. Can you talk about just sort of the significance of being a part of a show like this, a show that is timeless? It's going to be played for the next 100 years, and you all are a part of it right here in Minnesota at Chanhassen Dinner Theatres.
I think it's so special because I grew up watching the movie, and yeah, just there's so many iconic songs. And for me as a dancer to be playing this role that I saw on my television in the basement watching with my mom, on doing these epic sweeping dance numbers on this big sound stage, I feel like we're living that now, and it's kind of like a dream come true in terms of that, like starting from a little girl watching this. And I just think this movie and show brings up so many memories for people. There's a big sense of nostalgia. We see a lot of
tears.
A lot of tears
every
in the
night.
audience.
A lot of tears.
Yeah.
It's so
happy
sweet.
tears.
Yeah.
Very sentimental.
Yeah, and I had the real honor and pleasure of going to one of the performances. It was a couple months ago. It was right when it first kicked off in October. And one of the most touching parts of the show, in my opinion, was when the entire audience began singing the song.
I just got chills. Because, it's wonderful.
What does that feel like to be on the stage and have everybody in the audience singing a song that's the name of the show that you're a part of and has become part of the Great American Songbook in a way? Yeah.
It's a pretty communal experience, and especially at the end, we're dressed in those beautiful red costumes, and the snow is falling, and the house lights come up just slightly so we can see everybody's faces, and especially right now, people are dressed in their Christmas finery, their sweaters and their sparkles, and it's this weird, iconic, communal experience, and it's really lovely.
And this is the picture that you're
there
talking about.
we are.
In the red costumes singing White Christmas. And this was the part that really gave me chills to Andrea, sitting in the audience and having everybody sing that. I know that this is the final run of the show at Chanhassen Dinner Theatres. For those of you that don't know what a final run is, that means it ain't happening anymore after this year.
She's not coming back.
I just learned what that term meant from Paul Milgate, our executive producer. So why do people, if you maybe haven't seen White Christmas before at Chan, or if you've seen it before but you really want to go see it again, why do you absolutely have to go see it this time around?
I think there's something for everyone in this show.
Absolutely.
There's some comedies, big, epic, colorful dance numbers. That's very exciting, even if you've never seen the show before, even if you don't know any of the songs. Again, there's some little sentimental moments that really tug at your heartstrings, and just an opportunity to enjoy this whole evening, this whole experience with family or friends, and just seeing some joy. Really.
Yeah, and the
stage.
adaptation, they took all kind of the good parts of the movie, your iconic moments. So if you're waiting for that one moment where the girls come out with the fans, they do it.
We do it.
If you're waiting for the moment, that he sings White Christmas to the little, or the song to the little girl on the bench, he sings it. Count Your Blessings. It's just such a beautiful, so you just, all your favorite moments, they come right at you, live, real people in front of you.
Yeah, and one of the best parts about this final run is that it doesn't just end Christmas Day. This is running through the month of January, I think even going into February.
We will keep the Christmas spirit going into the new year.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Plenty of opportunities to go see it. Another one of my favorite parts of the show, there's a dance scene between the two of you all. It's a very ornate, intricate, and you can see the chemistry right there.
Yeah.
It's very ornate, intricate dance scene. Paul, our producer, was telling me that this is something that's very well rehearsed. How do you all can you talk more about this exact scene and how you all kind of get on the same page for it? And
there we are.
There you see a picture of it. Yeah.
Well, we started working on this number we started in July of last year, and we didn't start rehearsal until September of last year. So we worked on it from July through, and then we started rehearsing it. So we wanted it to be special. We wanted us to have the chemistry. We had never danced together like that, and we had to develop that sense. You called it a relationship at one point.
A language
Yeah.
with each other. Yeah.
So that nothing bad can happen to either one of us ever while we're doing it. And we actually, every single performance, practice one section of the dance. Every show, even on a 2-show day, we do it twice.
Yeah, just to get the feel for each other, because we wake up different every day, and it's all these
our
grip
grips
changes
and the way that our hands kind of rotate through each other.
And what's interesting, I find, it's a live show, right? So there can be things that feel different every day, but we are so consistent, and I think part of that is getting together every day before the show.
Yeah.
But even if something does happen, again, maybe like a weight shift is a little bit different, we've developed such a partnership that we can sense that, and it's so magical, and adjust it in the moment without speaking. We just give a little look in the eye, or like Tony will just it's really amazing, and that takes time to develop that kind of a partnership. But I feel like it clicked with us from the get-go, which was really special.
Because we did a video to audition together, and I found the video recently, and I sent it to her and said, "Look at us, we're so good," and we would just dance together for 5 minutes. So it's great.
It's incredible. There's 8 performances of White Christmas every single week.
Yeah.
And you all just said that you rehearse it before each one of the shows. So you're doing this dance 16 times per week. That's incredible. That's incredible. Some rough math there. That would be that'd be 64 times you're doing the dance every month. It's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
But we love it.
And what we always say every night is one at a time.
Yeah.
We do one.
at a
We're just
time.
this is the one we're doing right now.
That's right. That's right. I have some individual questions for you all. Tony, I want to start with you. Michael Gruber, yes? This is your husband.
Yes.
He's also in the show, another lead role. What's it like working alongside your husband in White Christmas? And I think we have a photo of you and Michael on the stage.
In our army gear.
Right.
Look, there we are.
Oh, yeah, that's a better
Yes.
The picture of masculinity.
You said it, not me.
It's great. So again, relationship-wise, we trust each other so much, and we can read each other very well. So that part of it is fantastic. We do have different working styles. He's much more cerebral than I am. I'm much more visceral and more like, let's just get on our feet and do it. And he's like, let's think about it. Let's talk about it. So our preparation is different, but once we get to the theater, it's great. Yeah. I trust him implicitly, so it's fantastic to know that he's right there. And
did you meet him at Chanhassen?
I
Dinner
did.
Theatres?
In 2007, they brought him in. He was a big Broadway. He did 10 Broadway shows, and they brought him in to do Easter Parade. It was a world premiere, and that's how we met.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's. I also read that you've done upwards of 50 shows at Chanhassen Dinner.
I think
You remember your first? Or,
Yeah, my first was a chorus line in 1986. Wow. And it's how I got my equity card, my union card. So 40 years. This January will be 40 years.
Incredible.
Yeah.
A true Chanhassen Dinner Theatres legend.
They call me a
Yay.
Chanosaur.
A Chanhassen. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Andrea, you used to work with Celine Dion.
I did.
Can you talk about what it was like working with Miss Dion and sort of your career with her?
It was incredible. Yeah, I auditioned in New York for this show that we didn't really know what it was going to be about. I thought it was a very short-term gig in New York, actually, and it turns out it ended up being this 5-year run in Las Vegas. And it was incredible. She's the most wonderful boss, but just human being. And there were 50 of us dancers, and most of us stayed for the whole run because it was just the best job ever. And just we were artistically challenged and developed a life and a community in Las Vegas. And then I went on to work with Cirque du Soleil there as well. And so it was a wonderful chapter of my life.
All these dancing opportunities you've had. Paul told me you are by trade really a ballerina dancer. I mean, like a true one. What's it like incorporating that, but also having to be able to sing and you know, act and perform as a part of the
Yeah,
show too.
I was lucky. My parents supported whatever I wanted to do. They put me in dance when I was 3, and then I basically never looked back. I was like, yes. And like there was never one day even that I was like, Mom, I don't want to go to dance, you know? And then I started voice lessons also in the 5th grade around there and just kept going with that. And I had a foundation of jazz and tap from age 3 as well. So then when I went on to train more classically as a ballerina, I had that foundation already to pull from in my adult life.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think versatility is kind of my motto.
Keeps you working.
Yeah, and just continuing to grow and learn myself and developing, even now as, you know, an aging actress too, developing different skills and how I can use my instrument, my body and my voice, and acting differently than I had 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And it's really thrilling for me.
Yeah, learning how to evolve is so important, I think, for anybody in any industry, especially, I'm sure, acting-wise. It's a very important thing. And listen, while you have to maybe evolve as professionals, the best part about Wise Christmas is that it's pretty much been the exact same show throughout the course of its run. It's so special at Chanhassen Dinner Theatres compared to going to see it on a more traditional Broadway stage. What makes the Chanhassen Dinner Theatres experience so exceptional? Because it's not just the show; it's when you walk in, you kind of feel it, and it's the meal and all that. Can you talk about the whole experience?
Well, the show takes place in Vermont in a lodge, and the theater feels like a lodge. You walk in, there's that huge stone fireplace, and the beam ceilings and the flagstone floors, and it's just so cozy. And then you sit down, and the wait staff is so friendly, and they talk the show up, and they talk about the actors, and they talk about, you know, give you all the choices for your dinner, and it's a menu. It's not a buffet; it's a full menu, and you're having your cocktails and your desserts and your appetizers, and then you stay at your table and the show starts, and it's like something out of the past.
Yes.
And it's one of the very few that's still left in the United States.
Yes.
So it's really special. And I had a woman come up to me during White Christmas. She was in her 40s. Her family had been coming since she was 8 years old. And that was their once a year. They came on Thanksgiving to the Chanhassen, and she had seen me in many shows, but she now was bringing her children.
Yeah.
So families passed this tradition down to bring them to see
I saw
shows
this
there.
family as well right before, or it was the night before Thanksgiving, and they said, yeah, we have been coming here the night before Thanksgiving for the past 30 years.
That's incredible.
And you can just tell it's a big celebration for them,
Yeah.
and they all get dressed up,
Yeah.
and they're all taking pictures in front of the tree, and it was wonderful to speak with them and hear about that tradition.
That's amazing. You all have a favorite thing on the Chanhassen Dinner Theatres menu? Any highlights that you all really like?
Well, I mean, I haven't had it in a long time, but the chicken Chanhassen
That's
it's
a
the hollandaise
favorite.
sauce. It's the hollandaise
Yeah.
sauce.
It's my favorite.
But they do a good sirloin.
Yeah, okay.
The steak is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steak's really good.
Their
Yeah.
pasta is really good too. They have a macro bowl now,
You're
which is
healthy.
really
You're
nice.
super healthy.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. It's
something for everyone.
Something for everyone. The whole Chanhassen Dinner Theatres experience is exceptional. Where could people go buy tickets? And again, how long is the show running for? It doesn't just end Christmas Day. I mean,
No.
the holiday spirit is extending into 2026.
And there are tickets available for January and early
Yes.
February.
That's
We go
right.
to February 7th.
That's right.
So if they go to chanhassendt.com, or they can, what is it? It's on Facebook. They're on Instagram. And it's all chanhassendinnertheaters.com or chanhassendt.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. You can call the box office too.
Call the box
All-
office.
all this
They've got a
stuff. Yes.
fantastic. Everyone's so friendly when
Yeah, very
you chat with
helpful.
them.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. All the staff at Chanhassen Dinner Theatres has all been exceptional. They become a good friend of the afternoon shift, and I'm so pleased that you all stopped by today, and you all have become friends of the afternoon shifts as well.
Oh,
like I said, I got to see the show back in October and went into it completely blind. Didn't know anything about the plot line, didn't know anything about the storyline. Knew the song White Christmas, sure, but didn't know anything about any of the characters or anything. I was blown away, folks. It was that good. And you walk away from it really in the Christmas spirit and feeling a certain sense of nostalgia. I think like you all said, it really kind of tugs at the heartstrings, and can't recommend it enough. So go see it, everybody. Andrea Mislan, Tony Vierling of Chanhassen Dinner Theatres, White Christmas. We really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. We're going to have much more to come from the afternoon shift right after this. back here to the afternoon shift. Ladies and gentlemen, I really hope that you are inside, warm and safe right now. The weather outside is horrible. It's frightful as the song goes. There are several inches of snow that are coming into the Twin Cities metropolitan area and beyond. My friend Ian Leonard, Fox 9 chief meteorologist, you heard him say at the top of the hour at 3 o'clock that if you're south of I-94, you're going to be getting between 1 and 3 inches. If you're really north of 94, and frankly, north of the Twin Cities, you're looking at potentials of up to double digits of snow right now. I know my commute going back into the city is almost double. So please, if you don't have to drive, stay at home, stay locked right in here on Fox 9 and Fox Local. Stay with the afternoon shift. We're going to have all the latest on the winter weather as it comes up here. And you're going to see Ian Leonard again at 4 o'clock. So that's in about 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And you'll see him again at 4:30 with the latest of all the conditions that are going on outside. It really is a true winter storm that we're experiencing today on Tuesday, December 9th. We didn't get into headlines right out of the top of the show because of the breaking news with the winter weather. So let's get into some of them. I just said the date, December 9th. Well, today, folks, 60 years ago to the date, A Charlie Brown Christmas premiered on television. Now it's become one of the most iconic holiday movies of all time. Of course, the creator of Charlie Brown, Charles Schulz, is a Minnesota native, a Minneapolis native at that. Tomorrow, as a little tease ahead to the afternoon shift tomorrow, we're going to be chatting with Benjamin Clark, who's the curator of the Charles Schulz Museum in Santa Rosa, California. That's just a little north of San Francisco in the Bay Area, about the film and its 60th anniversary in Charles Schulz's Twin Cities roots. Grace, you have a favorite scene from A Charlie Brown Christmas. And Grace, we cannot hear you.
I said the scene at the piano is iconic. I think
course.
that's
Schroeder.
definitely it. And I used to play piano, so I learned to play a few songs from A Charlie Brown Christmas, and so that's definitely one that is special to me. But what about you? Do you have a special scene?
I think when is it Lucy? It's Lucy, right? That's the character's name.
Yeah, Linus and Lucy.
She's sitting at the stand offering psychiatric help.
Yeah.
I like that. I also like it when Linus actually proclaims the Christmas gospel message, and all the characters kind of come in and they all start singing that song. And obviously the opening montage of the film with the skating and the music that plays under there, and Christmas time is here. It's
iconic, and it's timeless. It's something that'll go down in. I feel like my kids will be watching it. I watched it. My parents watch it. My grandma watched it. It's timeless. And, even in my best friend, I have to shout out my best friend, Jenna. She loves Charlie Brown. Like, every year we would watch the Thanksgiving one. We'd watch the pumpkin one. We watch Christmas. And so I haven't watched any this year because I haven't been with her. But, after chatting about it today, I'm like, I definitely will need to go home and watch it. And so that I'm ready for the season. It really just gets you in the mood.
No doubt. And growing up for me too, A Charlie Brown Christmas was something that my family, we always liked watching as well. And it's something to get you in the mood for Christmas time. What an iconic classic film that is. All right, let's move on here. The 2026 Minnesota Yacht Club lineup was released a short while ago, and there are some big names. I know we got a graphic of that poster of all the people that are going to be performing at the Yacht Club. There it is. And you see those names, the Lumineers, the Black Keys, Matchbox 20, the Strokes, among other names. That's going to be happening from July 17th through 19th at Harriet Island Regional Park in St. Paul, Minnesota. Truly a highlight of the summer. Every single summer here in Minnesota, people absolutely love the Minnesota Yacht Club. And that lineup was just released today. So if any of those names catch your eyes, the Strokes, the Lumineers, Matchbox 20, you might want to go look into buying tickets for that. Grace, you're a fan of some of these artists.
Oh, I am such a fan. I am so excited. I've been texting my boyfriend Ian all day, and I'm on the pre-sale. I'm going to be ready to buy some tickets because Lumineers and Mountjoy, I love both of those bands. I've seen both of them in concert. I have to say they're phenomenal live. Even if you don't really like their music, it's just, it's kind of a vibe. They're very much into like crowd interactions, so they'll encourage some singing. But it's just great. They're great musicians. Their pianist he's barefoot. There's a really amazing woman who's in the Lumineers. She plays the violin. And then, I mean, I don't know. I'm really liking this lineup. I know Paul was a little bit like, oh, this lineup is kind of boring, and because in the past it had been Alanis Morissette and Green Day, which all great names. But for me, I'm really excited about this lineup this year.
I like the song, I Belong With You, You Belong With Me by the Lumineers. So
Yeah.
that would be a cool one to see.
It's a great one. Paul called it Hi Ho today and asked if that was like from the Seven Dwarfs, because it's Ho Hey is the song you were singing. But
Oh.
he was like, oh, you mean Hi Ho? No.
I think that's reserved for Snow White and Disney there, Paul. But the Lumineers, they're coming to the Minnesota Yacht Club this summer. Like I said, by the way, we're standing by for Ian Leonard. He should be coming up any minute now. He's supposed to be here around 4 o'clock. So when he gets at that green board, we will bring you Ian live with all the latest of all the winter weather that's happening outside. But let's get into a final headline before we get to Ian. Nominations for the 2026 Golden Globes are out, and Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another dominated with 9 nominations, including Best Motion Picture in a Comedy or Musical. In the TV category, HBO's The White Lotus led with 6 nominations. And this year, the Golden Globes also unveiled a new podcasting category where Call Her Daddy, Good Hang with Amy Poehler, and Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard were among the nominees. Where was the afternoon shift? Why didn't we get a nomination for the Golden Globes, Grace? Where did we not submit a reel to the Golden Globes committee?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What's up with that?
We obviously didn't lobby hard enough. I'm not sure. Next year's our year, though. I think, we got to watch this year, figure out what the nominations have, and kind of cater our show towards that, because I don't know what's up with it. I definitely think that next year will be our year, though.
Yeah, Call Her Daddy's got nothing on the afternoon shift, in my opinion.
Nothing. I mean, Kamala Harris. We got
Mayor Carter.
Mayor Carter. Yeah.
We got Mayor Carter.
Yeah.
We got Mayor Carter. That's good enough for the afternoon shift. We are standing by for Ian Leonard. Like I said here at throughout the show today, and Ian has been saying it too. This is a bad winter weather day here in Minnesota. Here comes Ian right now.
By the way, can we just, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Ian. Sorry, Adam. I'm all flummoxed here because Grace just said that her boyfriend's name is Ian. Do you have any idea how many Ians there are? Like none.
Yeah,
And
I know.
I go to the regular weekly meeting of weirdos named Ian, and he's never there.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes in the room sometimes I'll be talking about my boyfriend Ian. I'm like, I have to preface. I mean, my boyfriend Ian. I'm not talking about Ian Leonard. Then sometimes I'm talking about you, and I'm not talking about my boyfriend. So, Ian's a great name. I love the name
You
Ian.
can just refer to me as television's Ian Leonard.
Okay, sounds good. I'll keep that in mind.
Well, then, I tell that to everybody, and they're like, well, that's full of ego. But it's from 25 years ago. I was on the air in Iowa, and I was calling a friend, weird flex, he used to be on Saturday Night Live, and his son, who was about 10, said, can I tell my dad who's calling? And I said, yeah, you can tell him Ian Leonard's calling. And he held the phone out, and he didn't cover it like most kids, and he said, Dad, it's television's Ian Leonard, and that's where that came from. So now I just walk around and say hi.
Okay, I will make sure to call you that, and we'll super you that way as well, so there's no confusion.
Television's Ian Leonard, perfect. By the way, say hello to your boyfriend Grace and tell him I'll see him at the next meeting of the Weird Ians Association. So,
sure.
Adam, you were talking about this when we were talking at the top of 3 and 3:30, and we talked with Brina from AAA. Here's your eye on the world, if you will. And as you look, this is, to give you an idea, a little perspective, this is the 394, and this is as it curves down from areas like, comes down from the north. So it's peeling here and turning to the east in Eden Prairie. That's the direction going to Bloomington. This is the direction coming through Eden Prairie. You get the idea. Traffic is very slow. Accidents and pileups everywhere. Spinouts off the roadways on some of the major roads. The reports are voluminous. It is that kind of an evening. There have been times when you've been looking outside that it's been hard to see 394. Now it has let up significantly, but this type of system will do exactly that. It will be wave after wave with much bigger flakes, much bigger totals, but also a higher and heavier compaction rate because it's 27 degrees with the dew point at 25. In other words, there's an awful lot of moisture in the air. So those bigger flakes, they're heavy and they'll actually compact down on themselves and affect totals if you don't get out there and measure at least every hour. A wind starting to pick up out of the southeast, but that's not the weather maker. There's the spin, the circulation, if you will, around this deep clipper. The cold air coming out of northern Canada on the backside of the clipper, temperatures being sourced here are 10 below Fahrenheit. So that's the cold air and the moisture here right out of the Gulf uninterrupted. The clipper will continue to squeeze that moisture out and try to feed in that cold air at the mid-level of the system. If there is an inhibiting factor, it's that the cold air goes into the system and collapses to the ground. Cold air is more dense. It's heavier than warm air. So once it gets into the system, it likes to pound down here at the backside. That means look how dry it is here. There's not a lot of moisture on that side of the system. Whenever we look at a clipper, we try and follow the track. Last night I said the track is really going to mirror I-94, and that's what we're seeing. The low is here, just coming across Fargo. Meteorology, synoptic meteorology says the track of the low and areas to the north are where we will find the sustained heaviest bands of snow. So the snow will continue here for a while. We're actually seeing a deep intense band here, right where the colder air is intercepting the moisture out of the south. That is a decent band between the Minnesota River and I-35 south and southwest of the Twin Cities Metro. This will continue to be a track with a big bullseye of heavy snow about here, and it actually goes completely right through the metro, dividing it in half. The roads are a mess, like I talked about, but there are different colors here. Where you see that pink starting to feed into parts of western Sibley County, all along the Minnesota River Valley, that's a rain-snow mix. So there's a little phase line right here, all snow and a transition to a wintry mix. The wintry mix I'm expecting here to work across Glencoe, Carver, Scott counties, even across the Minnesota River Valley, and edge into parts of the southwest metro in the next 2 hours. That warmer air will overcome the colder air, and we'll start to see some rain and a rain-snow mix, limiting some totals and really bashing down anything that we had as a previous snowpack and anything that has fallen so far. There's the clipper track that I outlined yesterday. The winter storm warning is where we expect the heaviest bursts of snow. There it is, including parts of the north and east metro, here straddling I-35. The winter weather advisory to the south is more about travel problems, and travel problems aplenty. We were talking to one of the state officials, and they said, look, this is the kind of snowstorm that if you get into trouble, if you go off the road, if you're in the ditch, it's going to be almost impossible for us to get out to you. So please limit your outstate travel. Again, this is 394. Notice it is really starting to log jam up. This is an interstate, 6 lanes, and it is barely moving right now. So the chemicals went down, the road salt went down. And then we started with the snow falling on top. It starts to melt some of that snow, but then more snow falls and it turns into a bit of a slurry. That slurry is almost impossible to grip. Now, we're not talking ice. We're not cold enough right now to support ice. That happens overnight and into tomorrow morning. What we have shaping up here is a windy rain snow event tonight. Snow in gray and white, wintry mix in pink, and all rain in yellow and blue. As the system rolls down 35, watch as it rotates in with some of the warmer air on the southern side. That edges into the metro, cuts down some of the totals. The snow stays in place and continues to fall in that line north of the metro in the winter storm warning. There will be the possibility of some double-digit snowfall reports north of the metro with flurries continuing overnight. These are nuisance flurries. It's kind of like you've already shoveled the snow and then you look out and you're like, great. It's snowing again. The nuisance snow is back, and that lingers overnight all the way into tomorrow morning. Now, let's talk about potential totals. And it's important that we say this. Look, it is a moisture-rich clipper. There are going to be pockets, bursts, if you will, of higher snow outside of where the winter storm warning is. But overall, the potential looks for the greatest snow amounts here along and north of I-94. Once you get north of Mille Lacs, just off to the east of Brainerd Lakes, there are possibly totals here at 10+ inches. Metro specific, this is an incredible snowfall gradient. 1 to 3 down into Sibley County, 2 to 4 for the South Metro. Once you get across the downtowns of Minneapolis and St. Paul here, off to the north and the east, that's where we could see totals of 8 to 12 inches. So an incredible snowfall gradient that is going to occur here in anywhere between 20 and 30 miles. It is going to be that kind of a night. And then we'll talk about more snow possible Thursday night, maybe a couple of inches. More snow possible Friday, maybe a couple of inches. All of this before we tumble into a deep freeze on Friday. My forecast high Saturday, I'll say it quietly so as not to offend, it's 1 degree. That's my forecast high on Saturday. Our average is 30 degrees. There is a chance we slide back toward averages as we head toward Christmas. But in the meantime and in between time, it is all about winter doing what winter likes to do. It's wintering, Adam, or as I like to say, December is Decembering.
1 degree is the high temperature on Saturday. Yeah. That is going to be rough, Ian. 1 degree is that's extreme.
In my house, we call that a double jacket day.
A double jacket day. Yeah, sounds like it. We appreciate all of these insights here. My for what it's worth, my commute to home has already doubled from the time that I talked to you earlier today. So that's just a testament to how bad the roads are and how really messed up.
Wow, somebody gets to listen to a book on tape all the way home and probably finish it with how long your commute's going to end up being. Listen, it goes without saying, Adam, you don't have to be on the roads. If there's a way you can avoid going out, just stay home. Watch right. Fox 9. I'm going to continue to track this all night with meteorologist Jennifer McDermott. We're like a dynamic duo. It's going to be a good time. We'll be here for you, and I'll have an update for you, too, in 20 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ian. We appreciate it. You heard it right from Ian, folks. If you don't have to be outside, please stay home and stay locked in right here on Fox 9, fox9.com, the Fox local app. We're going to take you all the way to 5 o'clock with the Fox 9 5 o'clock news, and then Ian Leonard will have you covered for the rest of the evening, him and Jennifer McDermott and the rest of the Fox 9 team with all the latest with the winter weather and, of course, all the news impacting the Twin Cities and beyond. All right, we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we are going to profile this organization called Tuba Christmas. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's tuba players coming together to play traditional Christmas songs. Wild concept, beautiful renditions that they offer. We are going to be talking to one of the representatives coming up next. Don't go anywhere. the afternoon shift. Tuba Christmas. It's an annual holiday music event where large groups of tuba and other brass players come together to perform Christmas carols. It sounds like an awesome concept. And joining us now is Chris Quaid, a coordinator for Tuba Christmas. Chris, welcome to the afternoon shift. How are you, sir?
Thank you. I'm very well. Happy to be here.
Awesome. We're happy to have you here. Chris, what are the origins of Tuba Christmas? Like, what led to this idea of tuba players and other brass players coming together to play these Christmas songs?
It was the brainchild of a rather unique man. Harvey Phillips was the best tuba player of the time in the 1950s and 60s, and he envisioned a concert where the tubas got to take center stage, where they got to play the melody, where they were featured. And so he went to New York City with the idea of having an all-tuba concert on the stage at Rockefeller Center. And although they were admittedly a bit hesitant, he convinced them. That was the first concert. It was in 1974, and it's been 52 years of Tuba Christmas concerts.
I love it. I love it. And you were talking about this tubas taking center stage. I know for a lot of people, they think of the tubas as sort of more of a background sort of instrument. If you're watching a marching band for a college football game or whatever, the tubas are not the front and center piece of the band. They're kind of more or less kind of in the back. It's kind of a bit of a forgotten instrument, if you will. Why is it so important to give the tuba players some visibility, and how is Tuba Christmas kind of breaking some of those tuba stereotypes, if you will?
Well, what you say is absolutely true, and I hearken back to Harvey Phillips again. He made it his life's work to bring the tuba out of the darkness, as it were. And he, as a matter of fact, he was the first tuba player to give a solo recital at Carnegie Hall. And for our younger tuba players, this is an opportunity for them to understand that their instrument is not less than, that their instrument is one that is appreciated, that sounds wonderful, that can play the most beautiful melodies, that can blend with any other instrument. And this allows them to achieve such growth and amazing potential on their instrument.
Yeah, Chris, do you have your tuba handy yourself right now?
My tuba lives in the garage right now because this is the brass season and I'm off doing many gigs for the Christmas concerts.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's the brass season now. How could I forget that? Hey, but Chris, if you are a tuba player and you do have your tuba handy, can anybody just join this concert? I know that there's going to be 6 Tuba Christmas concerts coming to Minnesota, and folks, you could go to tubachristmas.com to learn more about them. If you are a tuba player, can you just bring your instrument and join the group?
That's the beauty of the Tuba Christmas concept. That's the genius. These concerts have no set ensemble. Anyone with a tuba or euphonium can show up on the day of the concert. They register, they do one rehearsal, and they're part of the show. And we have teachers and students, amateurs, professionals. We have all ages from 10 to 90 participating in these events. And I'm glad that there are so many in your area. There are 372 locations all around the country and around the world where people can participate in Tuba Christmas.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I would love to go see it sometime. And like I said, tubachristmas.com has all, you see the graphic right there, folks. You can find all the locations, specifically where they're coming here to the state of Minnesota. What should an attendee, if they're not planning on playing the tuba, expect from the performance? And is it free just to show up and watch Tuba Christmas?
It is free. We like the concerts to be free. We want people to come expecting to celebrate the Christmas season. Expect to sing and sing loudly. And, you will be given the words and the tubas will play. We do every single carol twice, one time with just the tubas, the second time the audience gets to sing. You should dress up in your reds and your greens, and the tubas will also dress up, and they'll put lights on their instruments and scarves that wrap around, and it's come expecting a great time.
That's awesome. What would you say is the best Christmas song that a tuba player can perform. We just had on some of the actors from White Christmas, the play that's happening here in the Twin Cities area at Chanhassen Dinner Theatres. That one comes to mind as probably a good song on the tubas. Are there any more that you say are kind of the go-tos?
Well, we have a group of carols that we've been playing out of the same book since 1974, but one carol was put into the book about 25 years ago, and it has become our favorite. I don't think your listeners and your viewers are going to know this, but it's a wonderful Christmas carol titled Santa Wants a Tuba for Christmas.
Oh, how about that?
So,
Santa wants a tuba for Christmas. All I want for Christmas is to go see Tuba Christmas. Again, Chris, can you tell the people where they could go to learn more about the event and the locations that are coming to Minnesota?
right. TubaChristmas.com is your go-to. There you can simply put in your location and you will be able to see any Tuba Christmas near you. For those that want to play, there will be details about how to get there, where to park, what to bring. You'll have phone numbers in case you need to contact the conductors or coordinators, and everything's right there. We also have a Facebook presence, and we're happy to answer any questions that come our way.
Awesome stuff, Chris. Thank you so much. Chris Quaid from Tuba Christmas. Chris, we appreciate your time.
It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Thanks. We are going to welcome in Pierre Nugent, Fox 9 sports reporter and anchor. After this commercial break, he was at the Timberwolves game last night. You probably saw him on the court there. Anthony Edwards was behind him. We're going to get a recap of that game, a look ahead to the Vikings Sunday night football game in Dallas this week as well. So Pierre Nugent coming up right after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. As promised, at the bottom of the hour at 4:30, we're going to bring in Ian Leonard back into this conversation to talk about the winter weather that's happening outside right now. But first, before we get to Ian, we have in studio with us Pierre Nugent, Fox 9 sports reporter and anchor. Pierre, thanks so much for your second straight day here on the afternoon shift.
Yeah, that's got to be a record, I think, for me. 2 straight appearances on this show. It's great to be here.
We can make it 3 tomorrow if you want.
Hey, am I working tomorrow? Let me check my schedule. I might not be working tomorrow. Let me double check on that. But if I am, I'll be gladly back in the saddle.
Perfect. Our people will get with your people. That'll work out.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Last night you were at Target Center. The Timberwolves, they were riding a 5-game win streak. Dropped last night's contest of the Suns, 108-105 defeat. Some of your takeaways from being at the game?
Yeah, it was obviously a disappointing result, especially when you consider the fact that Devin Booker and Jalen Green weren't playing for Phoenix, and that certainly was an opportunity for Minnesota to extend its winning streak to 6. So I think on paper you thought to yourself that this is a game that Minnesota should win given the circumstances. They were not able to do that, and all credit to Phoenix, really. When we were watching, a couple of media members and myself, when we were watching the Suns play, we're like, man, this team plays hard. This team plays with a lot of effort. This team plays smart basketball, and they did it without their stars on the team and found a way to get it done on the road, which is never easy. So kudos to Phoenix, but I think really the main takeaway from yesterday's result for Minnesota is sometimes, even though I know this is not an answer that fans love to hear, but sometimes it is simplistic enough to be like, hey, it's a miss or make league. Basketball's a miss or make game. And last night, when you look at Nasri, Dante DiVincenzo, and Jaden McDaniels, they shot a combined, 4 of 20.
31.
If you include Mike Conley in it as well, you're at 4-31. And it was 2-24 from 3 if you include Mike Conley in it too. So, I mean, right there, even though Ant went off for 40, right there, you're not going to win games like that. And, of course, Rudy Gobert gets tossed midway through the third quarter. I thought it was the correct call. Rudy's got to watch himself the rest of the season now because of the flagrant fouls he's already accumulated. The next one, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the next one will lead to a suspension. That's right. A 1-game suspension. So Rudy's going to have to kind of watch himself from this point out. It's a little early to be racking up these many flagrant fouls. So it's one of those games on a December night. Missed a lot of shots. But I thought Phoenix out-hustled Minnesota last night in the effort department. Even though Minnesota they had, I believe, this almost the same. I think Phoenix had 14 offensive rebounds. Minnesota had 13 offensive rebounds. So, of course, the second chance effort was there. But I thought Phoenix played really hard last night, and they were the team I thought was deserving of the win, really.
And we talked about it yesterday. The Timberwolves have struggled this season against teams with winning records. They're not 0-4 anymore, but the Suns last night, this was another team with a winning record, and they dropped the game. Are you alarmed or concerned at this trend of the Timberwolves? They can beat all the bad teams, and that's great, but against the good teams, they're not really performing that well.
To be perfectly honest with you, I haven't thought about it that much because, it's still so early in the season that I don't know if we've reached a point where I'm looking at it at that specifically as a barometer. But when you point it out, when I think about it, you're 24 games in. I wouldn't say I'm concerned about it, but it is something that I think is worth paying attention to, no doubt about it. I think you've played enough games at this point where you know what you are. I think everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but for me, for as long as I've been watching the NBA, 25 games is about the right time where you kind of can look yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, this is who we are. Unless, barring injury, and if you've missed your stars for a number of weeks, certainly that it's going to skew your record. But 25 games is a fair assessment of where you are at this point and who you're going to be moving forward. So with that being said, is Minnesota just kind of a middling team in the West? I don't feel like that's going to be the case. I still think this team is going to win in the vicinity of in between 46 and 49 games and be a top 6 seed. So that's not something I'm terribly concerning myself with right now. Yeah. At least not right now.
There you go. And they have another chance to beat I don't want to say the best team in the West, but certainly a good team, the Golden State Warriors on Friday.
Yeah.
The Wolves, they're in the middle of an 8-game stretch where 7 of the 8 games are at home. This Friday game, they're just doing a little day trip over to San Francisco, kind of your neck of the woods, Northern
Not
California.
too far away, yeah.
Yeah, is this kind of a weird sort of NBA scheduling quirk? I know it had to do with the NBA Cup and whatnot.
Yeah, because they also added that game against Sacramento on Sunday, which they'll be back home for. So, yeah, that's
That's your spot.
I will not be going to that game because my duties are here for the Vikings postgame tonight on that night. It's going to be a busy night that night, too, with Sunday Night Football. So, but unfortunately, no, I will not be there for this game against Sacramento. But, yeah, I think that's just, like you said, it's kind of the result of the NBA Cup and how you have to add games back in if you're a team that didn't qualify and you figure out that schedule. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a quirk, but they've got 4 days off in between going from here to San Francisco, so that's a nice little layover for them, no doubt about it. You don't get that kind of time typically. Yeah. So I think that's, even though you have to come back from the West Coast in less than 48 hours to turn around and play again, it's the give and take of the NBA schedule.
Yeah, you bring up Sunday's schedule. The Timberwolves, they're going to host the Sacramento Kings that night. You brought up the Vikings. They're going to be at the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, big national primetime stage. The second Sunday Night Football appearance for the Vikings. Of course, they lost at home to the Falcons in week two on SNF. We had on Jim Rich yesterday to talk about the Vikings. I know you and I didn't get into the Vikings yesterday.
Yeah.
What were your takeaways from the win over the Commanders?
Well, first and foremost, I think the thing you have to pay attention to is you finally had a game where Minnesota not only started its regular offensive line, but finished the game with its regular offensive line. They started the guys that they had envisioned at the beginning of the season to be the starters. We've only seen them start a game once. That was a couple of weeks ago at Green Bay. They didn't finish the game as a complete unit. Christian Darrisaw, Donovan Jackson left the game with injury, and that game did not return. So this is the first game. We are in week, 14?
Yep.
Where the Vikings had started and finished the game with their regular offensive line. I mean, think about that. Yeah. That really, that I don't care how good your quarterback is. I don't care how talented your wide receivers and your running backs are. If you don't have a healthy offensive line, I don't care what team it is, you're going to struggle to win in this league. And I think that certainly has played a role in where the Vikings are right now. But that is a step in the right direction, and it coincided with them having one of their best games on the ground, second highest total in terms of rushing production this season. And, of course, that coincides with J.J. McCarthy having his best game of the season. And even though he was sacked 4 times, I don't think it's any coincidence that the fact that this offensive line unit started and finished the game, it's no coincidence that this team had its best performance on offense in weeks. Mm-hmm. Weeks. Yeah. They've been that bad. So that's really my main takeaway from what I saw the other day.
Yeah, the offense performing better. Justin Jefferson, though, this has become a very interesting point. His last 2 games, this is not a made-up stat, everybody. 4 receptions, 15 yards for Justin Jefferson. And I know we're standing by for Ian Leonard, who could come up any minute now.
Sure.
That it's 4:30, but quickly, I suppose, on Justin Jefferson, you think he's happy right now? I mean, they got the win.
Well, I certainly, and that's really the most important thing. When it comes to Justin Jefferson, he is all about business, and business means winning. Mm-hmm. Winning is what he cares about the most. And he was all smiles after the game, met with reporters after the game, after he did not do that against Seattle the week prior. But he's all about winning, and you can't argue with winning. Even though he only had 2 catches for 11 yards of the game, they still won the game. That's what's most important. And the offense looked competent, better than competent, really. And that's a step in the right direction. So I'm not terribly concerned about Justin's mood per se. Just as long as he's going out there, running routes hard, saying the right things after the game, which is what he is doing, that's all I care about.
Yeah. The Vikings' next 4 games, 2 of them are going to be big national window games. You got this Sunday night, and then you got Christmas Day at home against the Lions. Some big games coming up, and not totally out of playoff contention yet. You and I were big odds guys, 250-1 right now to make the playoffs.
That's a long shot, but that's not a long shot I'd be willing to gamble on, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
Pierre, you want to stick around with us?
Sure.
We're going to go to Ian here. There's Ian right there. What's going on, Ian?
Well, first of all, Pierre loves the weather. I mean, he lives for the weather, so of course he wants to stay.
Yeah, of course. I'm only here for you, as I normally am every night.
And that's why I've pledged my eternal, undying love to you and Adam, Pierre. Look,
what a guy.
The only way you can sum up what's going on this afternoon is that at this point, the roads are a complete mess. And that's not going to get better anytime soon as the snow continues to pile up. And when we talk about piles, there will be parts of the metro that get kind of an eye-popping number, while other parts, and primarily here the west-southwest metro, don't get eye-popping numbers, but roads will be as equally bad. There's a live look outside. Now, that'll give you a pretty good idea of what we're talking about. This is Southwest Metro. This is the tower camera from the Twin Cities Broadcast Operations Center here in the Southwest Metro. That's 394. That's 6 lines worth of interstate traffic that ain't moving too terribly fast. And that's the story for the rest of this commute and evening. 28 degrees. You're saying to yourself, hold on. The last time we checked in, the temperature was 27. The temperatures will continue to go up here for at least the next 3 hours, probably a degree an hour. So we're starting for parts of the metro to lean heavily into tracking away from snow and watching a transition over into a bit of a wintry mess, a wintry mix, a little rain and snow mixed together. My wife just texted me from the Southwest Metro and said, so when are we expecting that? And I said, as we head towards 6 p.m., I'd start to look for that in the Southwest Metro. Now, big picture view, cold air, Arctic air out of northern Canada, warm, humid air out of the Gulf, one big melting and mixing pot around the circulation. Look at the circulation there. That is our Clipper system. And yesterday I talked about the track, the overall track, and I said, look, this thing's going to wobble 2 or 3 times, but the overall track works here right along 94. Areas to the north and east of 94 will end up with the highest totals because that's where it stays all snow for the next 5 or 6 hours. Once we start to phase change the snow over to rain and a wintry mix, areas south and west of the metro, 2 things happen. That starts to quite simply eradicate the snowpack we already had. The end of November, early December, we picked up 10.3 inches so far for the metro. So that snowpack starts to get wasted away, and what has already fallen will also get compacted and turn into slush and a real wintry mess. So the snow is working here across the metro. There you see these bands of bright white. Those are the biggest hydrometeors, the biggest snowflakes. They give you the bigger totals if they stay in place. They're also very heavy. So we end up with something we call the compaction rate, where the snow actually starts to compact down on itself. I know what you're saying. You're saying the coral color, or is that seafoam? I don't even know. It's some kind of orangey pink. That area right there is the rain snow line. Look how close that is to the metro. From the metro, we're talking 1 county and we're into the rain snow. This is going to advance off to the northeast, about a county an hour. So as I said to my wife, right now we're about 25 to 5 central. I said to my wife about 6 p.m. into the South Metro, and that is going to make havoc with the snow that has already fallen on the streets. As that edges in here to the back of the system, look here along the Minnesota River Valley and out to the west, there's nothing. This is what we call the dry slot. So the center of the rotation of the low is about here. This is the colder, drier air coming into the back of the system. It comes into the mid-levels and then gets shunted down here to the surface. It is very heavy. It is very dense. So that cold air is going to sit and stay. If there is a factor that needs to be talked about tonight, it is the strong northwest winds on the back of that low that will take winds at 20 to 40 miles per hour out of the northwest. If it's possible, I mean, this is some very heavy snow. If it's possible, whips the snow off the ground and we end up with very limited visibilities, something that could happen later tonight. It's what we call a ground blizzard. Now, let's talk about the watches and warnings. Winter weather warning, a winter storm warning here in purple includes the north and east metro. That's why I expect the heaviest totals through the overnight winter weather advisory to the south. You notice that track is exactly where we've got the winter storm warning in the lesser amounts with the winter weather advisory. It kind of bisects right through the Twin Cities metro. There you go, back outside. A windy rain snow event tonight. A massive regional snow gradient. The gradient is everything here. So as we work through this afternoon, through this evening and into tomorrow, there's 94. There's a little edging on either side of 94. That's a pocket of up to a foot here. Brainerd Lakes, Mille Lacs stretching down into the north metro. Give you a little tighter look here. So the deeper purple colors, that's 9+ inches north of the metro. The lighter pink colors are 2 to 4 for the south metro. So a massive snowfall gradient for everybody. Now, on the other side of this, of course, we go much colder overnight. Temperatures drop down to about 20. What is wet is going to be frozen, and then the temperatures drop further still. Teens as we look into Thursday and Friday. High temperatures in the low to mid-teens. Another chance of snow Thursday night, a couple of inches. Another chance of snow Friday night, a couple of inches for the weekend. Forget about it. My forecast high, and I said this earlier, Adam, and I'll do this for Pierre. I'm going to say it quietly because I don't want anybody to fall off their chair. My forecast high for Saturday is 1.
1 degree.
Maybe talk amongst yourselves.
I quit. I quit.
Counsel each other. We're We're going to need it. And Pierre, look, I know you're a bit of a fair weather California guy. Well, so is Adam.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is great.
I was going to say,
you two are in the same room, and now you're probably like you're a little bit scared, and that's okay.
You know, can you believe it's been 8 years since I've been here, and people have asked me, "Have you gotten used to it yet?" And I said, "I'll never get used to it, ever. You never get used to it."
Pierre, I grew up in Canada.
Yes. Oh, I'm aware.
You don't get used to it.
I'm aware.
Tolerate it. You embrace it. You make it your own, and we're all proud of you for doing exactly what you've done. Adam, you've got some work to do, but we'll figure it all out.
Ian, you know what the high temperature right now is in Los Angeles? It's about 78 degrees right now and sunny.
Yeah, my daughter goes to school at the University of Tampa, and she's coming home on Friday. I haven't told her the forecast yet because I want her to come home. By the way, meteorologist Jennifer McDermott just said, Pierre, what's the Dolphins' record? And I'll leave you with that. We'll have the latest for you on the Fox 9 News at 5. Then we go 3 hours straight, 5 to 8 p.m. Regional updates here every half hour from 8 to 8:30. And then we're back on with the Fox 9 News from 9 to 10:30. We've got you covered everywhere, coming and going as it's snowing to beat the band. Like I said, if you don't have to go out tonight, tap her cool.
No, keep it chill.
Yeah.
Keep
Have
it
a good
chill.
one, my friend.
Thanks, Ian.
Haven't the Dolphins won 5 straight games or 4 straight games?
Four straight. But the funny thing is that, that rip coming from Jennifer McDermott, she's a Chiefs fan.
Yeah,
so
they just got beat.
Oh, by the way, they have the same exact record.
Right.
The Chiefs and the Dolphins. So
Yeah.
isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Both are probably going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like,
Well, I think the Chiefs still might have a chance, but Miami's absolutely missing the playoffs. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Even despite winning 4 in a row, no question about it.
Slow starts in the NFL, they will definitely get you. And I think that just to kind of dovetail our Vikings conversation, that's what really kind of got them this year. They just really never kind of got into a groove, and that's what leads to them having playoff odds at this point of 250 to 1.
Injuries obviously play a role, and I know that's not an excuse, but they do matter. It's context of how your season went. You had your offensive line that was decimated by injury at the beginning. You lose your starting quarterback in week 2, and you go without him for 4 weeks, and then you play the Carson Wentz game for 5 weeks, and try as he might, Carson Wentz gave it his best effort. But it just wasn't enough. And this offense was just never able to establish any type of rhythm, chemistry, consistency. That is what has been missing from this team because, this Vikings defense has been terrific all season long, particularly in the last 2 weeks. So they've only allowed 1 offensive touchdown in the last 2 weeks. And the only reason why they allowed that offensive touchdown was an interception was thrown in Seattle on your own 38, and they had a short field to get to the end zone. So when you really think about it, Minnesota's defense over the last week has been one of the best, if not the best unit in the National Football League. And that's tough because for as good as Minnesota's defense has played, you want to be able to supplement that with some competent offensive play, but we hadn't seen that before Sunday against Washington. We just hadn't seen it.
That's right. We're looking ahead to the Vikings-Dallas game this upcoming Sunday night. Is there any Fox 9 pregame coverage of that? I know it's not on this network.
Yeah, we will be on with Vikings Game Day Live in the morning at 9 o'clock, I believe, and or is it 10? No, it's 10 o'clock. My mistake. 10 o'clock. I should know that, but it's 10 o'clock. I'm on the night show, not the morning show, so forgive me on that one. But then Vikings post-game tonight, immediately following the game, will be on at 10:35 on Fox 9. So once that game is over, just flip the channel right over to us. Myself, Jim, Pete Bursich will be joining us from Dallas. So it'll be a good show. Vikings post-game tonight.
Awesome. Hey, before I let you go,
yeah.
we were just talking about California and the city of Los Angeles. Rocco Baldelli, the former Twins manager, just came out today. He's joining the front office of the back-to-back World Series champions, Los Angeles Dodgers. What do you make of this move for Rocco?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by it, only because I thought Rocco maybe might sit out a year and just enjoy time with the family and then get back into perhaps the managerial role. Following maybe a year away, if he's he's still young, he still has plenty of opportunity to manage. But to join as a member of the front office, that part I was a little surprised by that. I can't lie, but all the power to Rocco. Like you just saw Ian's forecast, he gets to get out of Minnesota and be in sunny Southern California and not have to deal with this weather. That's right. But I think Rocco will be a manager again one day if he wants to be. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you go up to the front office and you even though that is a stressful job too, sometimes when you don't have to be the manager, you don't have to press those buttons every single day. Sometimes you don't miss it. Mm-hmm. So if he so chooses, I think Rocco will be a manager again one day in the big leagues.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And I'm happy for Rocco that he got noticed.
We're gonna miss him around here for sure.
No doubt. Pierre, from one California to another, I appreciate you being here.
Great to be with you,
especially in this winter weather. We do appreciate it. And you, pardon me, you're all on the Fox 9 News today as well.
Yeah, you'll see me in about 30 minutes or so on Fox 9 at 5. We also got to talk Vikings at 6 o'clock as well, so I'll be around for another couple hours for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Pierre.
Thanks, Adam. We appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
All right.
We're going to have more to come from the afternoon shift right after this. Don't go anywhere. Back here to the afternoon shift. It is 4:45. In about 15 minutes, we will be bringing you the Fox 9 News at 5 o'clock with all the latest on the winter weather that's going on right now. One of our colleagues all day, the show that precedes us from noon to 2, their senior producer, Amber Milner, is currently on her way home right now and is offering us a live shot of that commute home. Grace, it does not look pretty there right now, huh?
Oh, I've been watching this shot for a little bit, and Amber is driving very carefully, to her credit, but it just looks terrible out there. I believe she might be on 169. Oh. I mean, you can see it is the slush on the roads. I'm gonna take this in full so people can really see everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. But it looks like everyone's driving very slow. And like I said, I believe this is 169 or around there. Yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty. The snow, it doesn't even look, I can't even tell. It doesn't look like the snow's coming down too hard right now, but you know, I think by the time we're out the door in, 30 minutes or so, we'll see if the plows are out. But as of right now, it's looking pretty gross out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it looks like everybody's driving slow and carefully out there, which is exactly what we like to see. And if you are at home right now and you're thinking about going out tonight, and like Ian Leonard said, don't do it. Tonight's not the night to get cute. Just stay at home, stay safe. Let the men and women that are out there plowing our roads and trying to keep us all safe here in the Twin Cities and beyond, let them do their jobs. Let them go plow the roads and make sure that we all have fine commutes tomorrow morning. Again, this is the live shot of All Day. Senior producer Amber Milner. Of course, All Day with Amy Hawkert precedes our show from noon to 2. You can also watch it on Fox 9 on actual television as well. And that's her shot as she's commuting home right now. We really appreciate Amber for offering us up this shot, and it looks like things are moving steadily there. Grace, you have a much better idea about roads here in Minnesota. What road did you think that was? What freeway?
I believe it was 169. Or
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like that's correct. She's passing Excelsior Boulevard. I saw passing the United Healthcare building. So, around in the western part of the Twin Cities Metro. But yeah, it's looking gnarly out there, and thank you, Amber, for pulling this up. Drive safely, get home safe.
No doubt.
And we'll be facing those roads in a little bit. I do want to pull up another shot.
Okay.
This is I-494.
Yep.
I'm not exactly sure eastbound that you're looking at I-494 eastbound. I mean, it is bumper to bumper
Parking lot
traffic. It is nasty. Even the side that's clear, everyone's going really slow, as everyone should be. And I mean, trying to get on the interstate, it looks terrible. I mean, this is going to be quite the drive home. Do you go via I-494?
I don't. I think I'm 62 to 35W. I think that that's the commute that I have. But I know 494 could be a beast even when the weather is perfectly fine. You throw in some wintry mix and a couple inches of snow like we're seeing today, and it could get much more complex and complicated, like you're seeing there in the live shot of 494 eastbound right now. So things are nasty out there, folks. And like I said, here at Fox 9, we're going to have all the latest with all the winter weather, all the things that are happening across the Twin Cities and beyond as it pertains to the weather and the roads and the forecast and whatnot. Just stay locked in right here for all of that. And speaking of that, earlier today, we had Ian Leonard here in studio after he did one of a hit at the green board inside the main studio. And Ian and I talked to Brenna Knapp from AAA Minnesota, all about winter weather tips, driving, making sure that you're staying safe in your car. We're going to replay that conversation right now. Let's take a look at that again. That's right. That's right. Let's bring in Brenna into this conversation. Brenna from AAA.
I'm just going to keep eating, by the way. I'm eating my lunch.
Perfect. Brenna, how are you? Thank you so much for bearing with us and your patience there. How's it going?
Yeah, hello Ian, hello Adam. It was great to hear your spiel about the forecasting, and I'm here to geek out about safety tips, if that's okay with y'all.
I love it. I love the safety part. I'm talking with my mouth full right now.
What are some of the biggest safety tips that you got, Brenna, for people that are out on the roads right now here in the Twin Cities and beyond?
Absolutely. Ian hit the nail on the head. If your trip is unnecessary, don't risk it, right? Stay off the roads. If you can be flexible and wait until conditions improve, till plows have gotten out there, that's going to be your best bet at staying safe, is staying at home. If you haven't yet, preparing your car, so keeping your gas with, at least a half full tank, replacing your wiper blades, make sure your brakes have been checked. Make sure all the lights are working properly, and then making sure your tires are inflated, because tire pressure drops when the temps do. So that's before you hit the road. And then we always recommend that you keep a car emergency kit. So having, a non-perishable snack, a couple of water bottles, extra pair of hat and gloves, a flashlight, even a blanket, all in your back seat.
Preach, Brenna, preach. Preach. I love it. Yep. It's all me. I could take you out to my car right now, and I've got all that in there. But as you're saying that, I know, and there are people out there, no, they don't have that. They're like, that's fine. I have a heated garage at home. I'm going to wear my nice loafers and go out. And then something happens in your car, and you're wearing leather-soled loafers. It's like wearing skates. It's so easy to prepare. Take an old pair of boots. Throw them in the back of the car in like a little tiny satchel. They don't roll around in your trunk. They're there, a blanket, and people are like, I don't need that. I've got this really expensive 4x4. I mean, how many times have you heard that, Brenna? It's like, I've got four-wheel drive. I'll be fine. No.
You actually keep this in your car.
I can show you right now in the back of my car. I'll lift the tailgate, and everything is in there. I've also got a AAA emergency road kit. Yeah. I've got everything I could possibly need. And my wife's always like, oh, you're always so prepared. Would you just stop being safety dad? I'm like, safety dad's a good dad.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, absolutely. We're really proud over here, Ian.
Thank you.
Brenna, what do you do? Ian was saying there's already been accidents are being reported every minute now. What's the protocol if your car starts spinning out and maybe you do hit somebody or you hit something on the side of the road? What's the first thing that you should do?
Yeah, absolutely. In the event that you do find yourself on the side of the road, stay in your vehicle,
Yes.
right? For visibility, to keep warm, keep your car running, and kind of, conserve energy of conserving fuel, but making sure that you're staying warm, giving an emergency responder a call, and then just staying put and staying calm is going to be the most important thing that you can do if you do find yourself on the side of the road.
The in the car part is so huge. And Brittany, you know this, you look at the cameras and you see accidents, and the first thing you see, obviously there's an accident because the road conditions aren't good. Visibility is not good. And you see people step out of their car and kind of start walking around. You're like, no. Get back in the car. Make the phone calls. Get emergency services to you as soon as you can. But getting out of your car is it's a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Brenna, what should you do? Like, let's say tonight you got your car parked outside. There's several inches coming. Like Ian said, if you're north of the metro, could be double-digit inch snow totals coming there. You get into your car tomorrow morning, it may not be working properly. What's the protocol there?
Yeah, well, we've got our AAA roadside workers who will be on deck this afternoon into the morning. So if you are able to make a call to have someone help, if you do find yourself your car isn't able to start, make that call and then make alternate plans too. And again, as we know, things have gotten more flexible over the years. So if you can work from home to avoid some of the traffic or some of the snow that we'll likely experience into the morning, do that as well. I know all of us Minnesotans will be a little bit flexible over the coming days.
I like stay at home. I wish I had a green screen at home. I'd never come to work. I'd work, but it just wouldn't be here. It'd be at home. But yeah, no, it's if you have the ability to not go, or like let's say you're downtown. And Brenna, you're downtown and you haven't started your commute. You want to get home. Look, you've missed your opportunity to beat the weather. You've missed your opportunity to beat the traffic. And I know nobody wants to hear this, but maybe stay and work a little later. Get some of that extra work done and get away from what's happening on the roads right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're really bad out there, Brenna. Listen, I know you talked about tips before about just kind of driving through these temperatures and ice and snow and whatnot. One thing that I've always noticed, and I did not grow up really driving in winter weather, when you're making that turn, especially in the snow and the ice, you can kind of feel like you're almost surfing in a way in your car. What's that sensation, and how can you avoid sort of that feeling? Because I feel like that's where a lot of accidents and a lot of pileups kind of lead to.
Yep, absolutely. So first of all, we start by saying drive slowly. Anything that you're going to do this afternoon, take it at a slower pace. Know you're going to probably be a little late. It will take some more time. But anything that you do at a lower speed is going to reduce your risk of a crash. If you're taking a turn, specifically like the question you mentioned, accelerating and decelerating really slowly, so not being super touchy on your brakes or your gas pedal, is going to help you avoid kind of spinning and turning like you had mentioned going onto a turn. So anything and everything, just take it at a slower pace.
That was our conversation that aired earlier in today's episode of the Afternoon Chip with Brenna Knapp. She's from AAA Minnesota, all about tips and tricks for when you're driving in winter weather. And as Ian Leonard has said time and time again during today's show, the real thing is don't drive in the winter weather if you can avoid it at all costs. Just stay home, folks. It's not worth it to go out there. Speaking about what the conditions are like out on the roads right now, let's go back to the live shot from the senior producer of All Day Live, Amber Milner. All Day is the show that precedes us on Fox 9 and the Fox Local app. Grace, you have a better understanding of Twin Cities roadways. Where do you think Amber is right now?
I saw she just passed Excelsior Boulevard, and Excelsior Boulevard, for those who don't know, is not very far from our station. It probably would take, 10 minutes on a normal day, but I think her commute has it's probably taken her double the amount of time to get to Excelsior Boulevard. So, it's been this the entire time. Just really slow conditions. I can see the snow coming down. It's super, super slushy. But yeah, I mean, the roads are pretty horrific. And we'll take a look at I-94 eastbound.
Okay. And it looks like that's a little bit of a pile up there, Grace, with a semi truck, huh?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but as you can see, I'm sure there's many accidents. So please, everybody, drive safe. Do what Brenna said, drive very slowly and carefully. Do not be slamming on your brakes. We want everyone to drive safely today. But yeah, as you can see from, I'll pull up Amber's shot one more time. Pretty tough out there. So we're going to have a lot of coverage on the 5 o'clock news. It's going to start in about 30 seconds. It looks like we've got some reporters. I can see Rob Olson, who's out in the cold. So I'm sure they'll be giving you some on the ground reporting on all of that.
No doubt, no doubt. And here at Fox 9 HQ in Eden Prairie, Kelsey Carlson and Simone will be bringing you the anchoring the Fox 9 5 o'clock news to make sure that where everybody's covered, you're going to get plenty of Ian Leonard in there. And you also saw Pierre Nugent on the show today. He'll be a part of the 5 o'clock news as well. All right, I'm Adam Llorens for the entire afternoon shift team. We'll see you tomorrow.